Hey guys! Have you ever wondered how you could save time in selecting files you aim to back up? In this video, I'll share with you the efficiency and convenience that a backup file filter provides to customers in terms of creating and managing backup sets. You can optimize your backup data by easily including or excluding the targeted files from your backup set and achieve several benefits from it, including streamlining backup set maintenance. For systems with a substantial volume of files, such as a shared file server, manually selecting the appropriate files and folders for backup using the advanced backup source method is a time-intensive process. Moreover, relying solely on manual selection introduces the risk of human error, potentially leaving critical files inadequately protected. To address these challenges, implementing filters can significantly improve efficiency by reducing the time required to create and maintain backup sets. By strategically applying filters, you can ensure that essential files receive comprehensive protection while minimizing the administrative burden on MSPs and customers. Moreover, with backup file filters, you can ensure reduced storage space, faster backups and restore, and better data security. Backup file filters will help you to easily remove non-essential files that aren't needed to be backed up, ensuring only the essential data is protected, resulting in a smaller backup data size, less storage space and costs, and faster backups. In situations where time becomes crucial, like a system failure, data recovery times will be much faster if there is less backup data. And lastly, filters help to comply with data privacy regulations by ensuring only the necessary data is backed up. To give you an overview of the backup file filter, you will be given an option to select a filtering rule, whether to include or exclude files or folders that you will be targeting using the filters. Both filters can be used simultaneously in a single backup set, which means you can add a filter to include files or folders for backup and another filter to exclude files or folders from the backup. Now you might be wondering, how does the backup file filtering work? Well, customers can choose between two types of filter: simple comparison and regular expressions. However, there's another backup filter that you might not be aware of: the global filtering feature of Ahsay, which can only be configured through the Ahsay Managed Backup as a Service or AMBAS console by the MSP or administrator. The exclude backup filter under the group policy. Let us first get into detail with this filter before diving into simple comparison and regular expressions. Let's go to the AMBAS console and get started. After logging into your web console, click Users, Groups, and Policies. Then go to Policy Group and select your policy group. Go to Backup Set Settings and enable Exclude Backup File. With this feature enabled, managed service providers or MSPs can easily control the size and age of files their customers can back up. This feature is not accessible to backup customers. The Exclude feature offers MSPs an excellent opportunity to create distinct service plans tailored to different customer segments. For instance, Plan A could be attractively priced, yet restricted to backing up files under 10 megabytes only. Meanwhile, Plan B, available at a premium, would provide unlimited file size backup capabilities. The filter setting applies to all user accounts and backup sets that belong to this policy group. You can choose among the options whether to skip files on map drive, files that are larger than your preferred file size, or files older than a particular date or a specific period of time. But you can also use the three options simultaneously to optimize the backup and restore of your files. For this example, let's exclude files that are larger than 15 megabytes and older than March 1 of year 2024. Then click Save. Now let's open an existing backup set to check if the files selected are applied correctly. What we should be expecting upon checking the advanced backup source is that files exceeding 15 megabytes or older than March 1 of year 2024 should be grayed out, which means these files shouldn't be available for selection as it is already excluded from backup based on the conditions you set on your web console. Log into AhsayOBM. Go to Backup Sets. Select any backup set. Go to Source. To check the advanced backup source, click I would like to choose the files to back up. Don't forget to tick off the Show Files checkbox so files will appear. Then open the folder used as a backup source for this backup set. If you look closely, some files are grayed out. These files are either older than March 1 of year 2024 or it exceeds 15 megabytes. After having been able to verify that the exclude backup filters were applied correctly, let's disable it for now before moving on to the other types of filter. Let's go back to the web console and disable the exclude backup file. Click Save. Now that you learned about the exclude backup filter, let's proceed to the two types of backup filter: simple comparison and regular expressions. Let's go to the backup sets page of AhsayOBM by clicking Cancel, then Cancel again. Click Backup Sets. Let's open an existing backup set and dive deeper on how backup file filters work. Go to Source, turn on Filter, and click the Add button. Let's do a quick rundown on the features when creating a backup filter. When creating a filter, first you have to rename your filter, but you also have the option to use the default name provided. After renaming your filter, let's proceed to the filtering rule. This is what I have mentioned earlier, where you will select whether to include files or folders for backup or exclude files or folders from being backed up. Take note, once the filter is created, you cannot unselect the matched data or select the unmatched data unless you enable exclude all unmatched files or folders or include all unmatched files or folders. What does it mean? If you select include as a filtering rule and enable exclude all unmatched files or folders, you won't be able to select the unmatched data if you plan to add other files to your backup source. On the other hand, if you select exclude as a filtering rule and enable include all unmatched files or folders, all excluded files won't be backed up, but all unmatched files or folders will be. Now, let's move on to the two types of filter, starting with simple comparison, which is generally the easier type of filter compared to regular expression. It has three criteria which will read the matched files or folder name that starts with, contains, or ends with the pattern that we will enter. The other type of filter is the regular expression in unique style. Selecting this type of filter involves the use of different types of characters, specifically meta characters, quantifiers, groups and ranges, among others. Regular expression is a little bit complicated to discuss, but when you select this type of filter, you have to be mindful of the patterns you will enter as this is case sensitive. Next is the pattern. This defines the filtering rule. There's a text field where you will enter the letters or words that you want to be used to filter out the files or folders. Next is selecting between all hard disk drives or this folder only. This dictates which directory the filtering pattern would be applied to. And lastly, specifying where to apply the filtering pattern, to file or folder. Both can be selected. Now that we've done a run-through on the basics, let me show you the simplest possible way to understand how a filter actually works, including the recommendations to maximize the efficiency of this feature. Let's start with this backup set and create a filter that will include files containing the word task on its name and exclude the unmatched data from the pre-selected folder for the backup source. Let's start by renaming the backup filter. Then select Include as a filtering rule. Leave the Exclude all unmatched files or folders selected. Then select the drop-down menu for the simple comparison and click Contains. Let's enter the pattern. Let's apply this filter to the folder selected as a backup source for this backup set. Click this folder only. Then change, select the folder used as a backup source, then click OK. We'll leave this on default as we're applying this filter to files only. Click OK. You can add other filters after creating one, but you have to make sure that the filters you set do not conflict with one another. You must also remember that filters check the whole file name, including the file name extension. Also, filters are applied in creation order. In this example, I'll only create one filter for this backup set. You may immediately check if the filters you created are working correctly, even if the backup set has yet to be saved for changes. Just go to the advanced backup source by clicking I would like to choose the files to back up. Don't forget to tick off the Show Files checkbox so files will appear. Then open the folder where the filter is applied to. As you can see, all the files within the selected folder are grayed out. But certain files are marked as checked, which is an indication that these files are selected to the backup source, including the folder Documentation. If you would notice, only certain files are also selected in this subfolder. These files match the filtering rule and criteria that we specified when we created the simple comparison filter earlier, which is to include files containing the word task on its name and exclude unmatched data, which explains why the other files cannot be selected. Aside from checking the advanced backup source, there are also two other ways where you can check if the filters work correctly. One is through the backup report, while the other is through restore. Let's close this window by clicking OK, then OK again, then click Save. First, to check the backup report, you have to run a backup job on your backup set. But since I ran the backup job just a while ago, we can proceed to Report and click the backup set where you ran the backup job on. Click View Log. To check if the filters work correctly through the backup report, scroll down and look for the information that reads New File. This will be your indication that the files specified on the latter part of the information are backed up successfully. In this, what you should only be seeing are files that contain the word task on its name. A similar method will be used to check if the filters work correctly through restore. What we should expect to see are only files that contain the word task on its name. Let's close this window. Click Restore. Select the backup set. Then click the destination storage and open the folder where the filter is applied to. Here, you'll see that only files containing the word task are backed up to the destination storage. Now that we're done with the first example scenario, let me show you another one using the other type of filter, the regular expressions. Let's close this window and open a different existing backup set to create a new filter. Click Cancel. Go to Backup Sets, select a different backup set, go to Source, turn on Filter, and click the Add button. Basically, we'll just go through the same process as we did when we created the simple comparison filter earlier. But this time, we'll create two different filters that will include files and exclude a folder, with exclude being the first filter in order. Let's rename the backup filter. Leave the include all unmatched files or folders disabled. Then select regular expression and enter the pattern. Let's apply this filter to the folder selected as a backup source for this backup set. Click this folder only, then change, click the folder selected as a backup source, then click OK. I am specifically applying this filter to folder, so let's select folder and unselect file. Then click OK. Let's create another filter using the regular expressions, but this time including the files containing the word task on its name and excluding the unmatched data. Click Add. Let's rename the filter. Then select Exclude all unmatched files or folders. Select Regular Expression and enter the pattern. Apply this filter to the folder selected as a backup source for this backup set. Click this folder only. Change, click the folder selected as a backup source, then click OK. Let's leave this on default as we'll be applying this filter to files only. Click OK. Now let's check if the filters are working correctly. Let's open the advanced backup source. Don't forget to tick off the Show Files checkbox so files will appear. Then open the folder where the filter is applied to. As you can see, only files containing the word task on its name are marked as checked. This is an indication that these files are included in the backup source. On the other hand, the subfolder Documentation is excluded, which matches the filter that we created earlier. If you would notice, even if certain files from this folder contain the word task on its name, it still remained excluded. This is because the first filter created was the exclude filter, which restricts the second filter from doing some changes over the first filter. And that is how to efficiently and accurately select files for backup, which provides added advantages in reducing the number of unnecessary files transferred. This improves both the backup and restore performance and lowers storage usage and costs for your backup.